Hello everybody, my name is Nicola and welcome back to my channel. I blog over at thefrugalcottage.com, all about budgeting, money saving, investing and lots of different things in between. And today's video is a budget update for you for the last week, and also a chat about what I intend to do with the cash envelope system going forward. So I start with my budget now. I don't know about you, but the past week in the UK has really kind of changed things in terms of people working from home, the schools are shut, everything just seems really different, and it's really difficult to kind of think of much else at this time. And another kind of thing that I didn't really feel in the previous week to this one is the amount of people buying loads of things extra. The only thing I couldn't get last weekend was Calpol, which I've now managed to find. But I went food shopping yesterday and, oh no, not yesterday, Saturday, sorry, and the shelves were empty. Like, I really struggled to get just normal everyday items for my list for the week, and I found the whole experience really stressful. I normally quite enjoy food shopping. It's one of the only times I get by myself, but I also enjoy I enjoy the process. But Saturday the supermarket was really busy. And there was just nothing. There's just like whole kind of aisles and Morrison's just empty, and I then went round to Asda, which is also near us, and it was the same situation. And I just find I guess the uncertainty of things really quite stressful, and I've had to go to different it's just, you know, who knows when this is going to end. But anyway, the knock-on effect of that, as you'll see in a second, is I've had to go to different shops than I would normally. I've had to go more often in the hopes that I would get kind of things that weren't in before. I've also, and this is something that we don't do normally, I've also had to buy more branded things because the supermarket versions of things have been sold out, and there has been on occasion a couple of things where it's like a branded version which is much more expensive, but I bought it anyway rather than not have it at all. And things like, I bought, for example, bigger packets of nappies than I would normally, because our 2-year-old is allergic to some of the nappy brands, so he can't wear some of them. And when I got to Morrison's, there's only a couple of these in his size left on the shelf, and they were the bigger packs, like the jumbo packs, and I don't normally buy those. But again, it's things like that where I'm doing things that I wouldn't normally, and it is having, you know, with obvious reason, a direct impact on our budget. And we're not at the end of the month, and yet as you'll see in a minute, I'm fairly close to being over budget already. So this is my budget planner. As always, I'll leave a link below to this. It's a really good idea to track your finances, even at this scary time, which it is. I've got a couple of blog posts that I've posted recently about how to improve your budget, but also what to do if you have sudden loss of income. I'll leave both of those links below if you want to have a read of those. That should help if you're feeling a bit anxious about your current financial situation, as lots of people are. So we'll have a look at this, and then I'll talk about my cash envelope system after that. Let me just see. So, not put anything in the sink in front of. So this is my no spends day tracker. It's not looking as good as I'd have hoped, but like I said, I'm having to pop out on different days to try and find things in the shops that I've not been able to find. Not now, because I found some, but last weekend and the days following, I was really anxious about finding Calpol somewhere. We've got a 2-year-old who is teething, and it is not a fun journey for either of our children, apparently. So apparently some children aren't bothered when they get their teeth. Ours are not like that at all. It must be incredibly painful. They're really grizzly. He's not sleeping very well, and Calpol is one of the only things that seems to make him feel any better. And I was getting really low down, and I couldn't find it. I couldn't find it in Morrison's, couldn't find it in Asda. It wasn't in the local pharmacy, not even just the supermarket's own one, but like just any Calpol at all. It was just all sold out, and it was getting really stressful. But now I've found some, I don't feel too bad. But popping out and kind of going more often does have an impact over time. Although actually looking at my no spend day tracker, it doesn't look too bad. How many have I had? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Is that right? Yeah. So my target is 20, and I'll be totally honest, judging by how things are going so far, I think that's probably optimistic now. Obviously when I set this at the start of the month, we were in a very different kind of period of time. I'm now not at work, I'm setting work from home, my boys are not at school or or playgroup, we're not seeing people at all. It's all a bit strange, so we'll see. I don't think I'll hit 20. I mean, I'll be pleased, don't get me wrong, but I just don't think I will at this stage. And I'm not going to stress about that because lots of these things at the moment are out of our control. And it's just playing by ear, day by day. And kind of definitely a period of adjustment. I wrote about that in my blog post today. A period of adjustment and adapting to our new normal, which is very hard, I must say. But there we go. Then my expense tracker. So can you see, so ignoring that's from last week, but food, miscellaneous. One of the things I haven't put on my budget planner tracker is one of our cats had, it was planned, it was an appointment, she had lots of dental work done on Tuesday, and that came to just under £500 now, which is insane in some ways. We have pet insurance, but the one thing that pet insurance doesn't tend to cover is dental work, and now we know why. And the reason why I haven't put it on here is because it's come out of a different fund to pay for that, and she'll need more of that done in kind of probably 6 months time ish, so we're now starting to put money aside to pay for that again. So although I've paid for that in March, it's not coming out of our monthly budget as such, if that makes sense. It's come out of a separate pot of money put aside, although we generally didn't think it would be that much, I'm not going to lie, it was a bit of a shock. Originally when the vet first said, oh, she needs this doing, it'll be about £750 to £800, and she's like, is that alright? And I was like, yeah, it's fine, yeah, thinking, what? But thankfully it was less than that, but it's come out of a different pot, which is why it's not in here. However, this Pets at Home spend here for £11.48. Our cats are normally outdoor cats, but because she's had surgery on her mouth and is having 2 different types of medicines, she then needed to stay in for like 3 days and not be let out, but we didn't have a cat litter tray because they go outside. So we had to buy kind of, not emergency things, but things that we didn't have in but weren't expecting to have to buy either. So my miscellaneous budget, because there's another one at the top of that page there, has been hit quite a bit, as has the food budget. So the reason why this looks so much, by the way, is I went food shopping last Sunday like I always do, and then I went on Saturday instead of Sunday morning. Now the reason why that is, when I went food shopping last weekend on the Sunday morning, my normal time that I go, it was horrendous. I've never seen the supermarket so busy, with so many people buying so much stuff. I really didn't enjoy it. It was really overwhelming. So I went on the Saturday kind of later on. So instead of Sunday morning, I went on Saturday afternoon, kind of late afternoon. It was quieter, but there was I couldn't get half the stuff on my list. So the reason why my food budget for this week alone looks massive is because I've technically done 2 shops in 1 week. So that's my expense tracker. I am on the second page, but I always knew that was going to happen. And then the weekly one, this is the one that I'm really not disappointed, because in some ways, I'm just going to zoom you guys in so you can see that a bit better. In some ways this is totally unavoidable, I think. I think that, you know, you can't predict this and plan this, and although I had things in our stockpile, that kind of went really quickly and kind of showed that actually I didn't really have enough in it, especially kind of freezer things. So that's given me a lot to think about in terms of whenever we get to the other side of this, what I intend to do moving forward. So this is week 3. So food, you can see here I spent £106.08 on food this week, which is way more than normal. Like I said, I've had to buy lots more branded things than I normally would, and I don't do that normally. I'm totally fine with buying supermarket own labels, so to speak, but sometimes this week there just hasn't been an option for that, and I didn't want to not buy it at all, because let's be honest, I don't know if I'd be able to get it again. It feels like that at the moment, and that's really that makes me really anxious about that. so I'm trying not to dwell on that. But as you can see, that only leaves me with £3.96 for week 4, which is clearly not going to happen. Or like, what can you buy with £3.96 now? So that's not going to happen. So I'm going to go over the food budget for March. But like I said, lots of these things, like, you know, I wasn't counting on when I started this, and I'm not going to get too like hit up over the fact that that's what's happened. Petrol, you know, as normal, £24.81. So I've still got £53 left in the petrol budget. And actually I haven't filled the cart this week because I'm now not going to work, so it doesn't need filling up. Miscellaneous £44.28, so some of that was that cat litter tray and the cat litter and a couple of other things she needed for that. And then things like household things, so because I was worried what was if one of the kids got ill and we'd not got any like washing powder or stuff like that, so I kind of bought that in, and we'd not run out but it was getting low. And again, it's just in case for whatever reason we can't get out. So, and I also stocked up on cat food as well, because we buy that and that comes out in the miscellaneous box. And what else came out of there? Oh, and these bigger things and nappies. Oh, and wipes and baby wipes were another thing that was really difficult to find. I was getting really worried, and yes, I could have used like a flannel or whatever else, but thankfully we managed to find some. But that was why the miscellaneous spend of £44.28 is more than normal, and that leaves me, as you can see there, with only £1.49 left. And now clearly I'm going to go over that as well. So the two areas that I'm clearly going to go over is the food budget and the miscellaneous budget. The children, we've not been anywhere. Everywhere where we would normally go is now closed, so that helps that in the sense that we won't spend any money, but it's a shame. Because, you know, it's nice to do things. We've been trying to get our garden sorted, so at least we've got that space to go into. But in terms of budget, it's not been great, and you know, we'll just see what next week brings. It's going to be very much a time of adjustment. And then finally, because I thought I'd mention it, and this is purely based on reading things in the news, is that I have temporarily decided, unfortunately, I'll just zoom that back up, to stop using my cash envelope system. Now, don't get me wrong, this makes me feel really sad. It's the budget system I've used in a long time, and it really works for me, but I've been reading stuff about how essentially how dirty money is and how that could carry things in the short term. So I've decided, as of kind of yesterday, that I wouldn't continue with my cash envelope system for now, and I would revert back to using my card, mainly because that minimises contact, and although I always think that card pin machines must not be clean either, but hey ho. And hopefully as soon as this is all over and kind of seems to be on the decline, I will go back to using my cash envelope system, because I do believe that that is the best system for me to use. But for the time being, I'm not using my cash envelopes, therefore there won't be any cash envelope stuff and videos either, because I know people enjoy watching those. So that's my thoughts on that. And then that's it for this week. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you again very soon.